I love that song. Now, Megan. The old output and stuff on there for the mic. All that good stuff.
Oh, I just spotted something. Okay, hopefully I've just actually randomly come through the sound right now. I did just spot a setting that was not where it should have been. So I might not have actually had any mic input going on right then. Shall I say that all again? Hey guys, welcome to the Ohm Kiwis. And hopefully you are hearing me right now. And yeah, last show for 2016. So please, out there in the chat box, let me know if that was the case and suddenly my sound just came on. Because Mike is reading full bore. I'm probably really damn loud right now.
I can hear dishes.
You can hear dishes. Yeah, that's all good. We've got life going on around behind me. Just adding the out there in the chat box. That I just figured it out and I should suddenly become very loud.
Hi, Jax.
That's actually lol. I don't know why that setting was what it was. Maybe my OBS updated and that was my whole issue today and I wasn't aware it had done an update. Anyway, okay, it's apparently reading everything sweet as. Right now, stream is strong. My modem was reset. Hopefully, yeah, there I am. I have sound. So I'm gonna blame OBS having an update because I don't know why those settings had been altered in any way, shape, or form. What's up? What's up? We got lots of people hanging out there in chat. How's everybody doing? Church, Jesse, Greg, Brad. Hey, I see you, Danny. Jackie, Kirk, Jax. How you doing, baby? Derek, Vince, loves. Hey, fam. How you guys doing? We got some Globe hanging out. Am I really loud or am I just good sound now? Because I'll just not touch anything else and we'll just carry on. Yeah, 2016 mix. It's been a very eventful year, hasn't it? For vape life in New Zealand and the globe.
Yeah, it has. We've had a lot happen this year. In comparison to last year, we've had a lot more events, like vape events. And then, as well as those, we had the Billion Lives premiere. There's been heaps going on this year. The B&M Open, well, two B&M openings I've attended. But yeah, there's been quite a bit going on.
I was just going to say, we've had more than 2 B&Ms open this year, but yeah, the attending part is valid.
Yeah. That's why I put that in there and it's like, hang on a minute, I'm pretty sure there's probably been more, but yeah, I've attended 2 of them. But yeah, this year's been a pretty full-on year for vaping in New Zealand, and I guess like with like the global stuff as well. It's been woo.
So I was thinking, as opposed to, separate of the giveaway, the NSVAPE giveaway, that we will come to a little bit later on, guys. So, just hang out. And if you missed what I was saying earlier, because I was probably in the silent bit still, entries have now closed. We are live. So if you have commented on last week's video, episode 35, for NSVAPE, that was on the review show that we did last week of the juice line, entries have now closed, and we'll draw that in a wee bit for the entire line, 6 bottles of 10ml, the entire flavour line of NSVAPE. Hang on, actually, before we launch into things today, what are you vaping on, Meeks? Because I see it's something a little bit different today.
Yeah, usually I think like throughout the entire year that we've been doing these shows, I tend to run a regulated device. But yeah, I always go with like the dripper. But yeah, today I decided to kind of mech it. I'm using a mech today. Let's see if the autofocus will pick it up. Come on, come on. So yeah, my able is a clone because yeah, I don't have deep pockets with the Lantucker on there, and I've got I went with some rather simple builds, so I've got dual fused Claptons on there, and yeah, it's coming out to a 0.12. But my juice hasn't changed. It's still jackfruit jungle.
That doesn't surprise me. Right, I will stick a battery in it. Seeing as you're going able, honey, I will pull out this baby, which I've got a built-in cotton in. So I'll chuck a battery in that in a minute. That's my cotton candy. And yes, full disclosure, if it hasn't already been said out of my mouth in prior episodes, a lot of all my cool pieces are clones too, if you weren't already aware. So we rock the AV life. We support the true manufacturer and the original product, but we are vapors of a budget and can afford the clone. So I don't get into that clone auth war, but just full disclosure, if you weren't already aware, that yes, a lot of my pretties are clones, including the Timekeeper with my goon that I'm vaping on today.
See, that's what I was originally going to put on the on this able, was my black goon. But since I already had a build on the old Lantucker, I thought it was like, oh well, I may as well just stick with that. And plus the whole coil build thing was just getting a bit too painful, and I was running out of time, so I was like, nah, this will do.
Just saying hey to a few more peeps out there in chat. Hey Natalia, Russell Vapes, Lemmy, how you doing, baby? I see Abe out there in the chat, and Craig. What's up to some of our Kiwi crew? It is awesome. Oh yeah, there'll be people starting to get home from work now. Yay, hopefully a few Kiwis get a chance to come and hang with us, because that is often why we have quite a big USA crowd that come and chill, because it's very late on a Sunday night over there. So albeit that most of them have got work in the morning, thanks for coming and hanging, guys. Love, appreciate all the support. And yeah, hopefully, seeing as the day has run how it's run, that we'll get a few Kiwis coming to hang for the last show too, so that'd be great. I was going somewhere with this. Juice in my goon I have shared by our sponsor of the day, vendor of the day, Mr. NSVAPE. Yes, that does have a MIG ratio on it, because we add our own MIG at home here in New Zealand. And then over here in my beautiful, I've shifted my camera along my monitor, so I'm actually in a slightly different position to usual, and I keep going to camera over here and you guys are over here today. So I have my beautiful Phoenix. God, she's gorgeous. Yes, this one is an authentic. I won this baby. I love this. Only a 75 watt mod, but damn, I love having her in my collection. I hope you guys actually, there's a lot of detail in this paneling. Like the photos and on this video, like, can never quite actually see the depth that's in the resin because of the merge of all the reds and pinks and stuff. I can never quite truly show the depth that's in it. And those of you that have got stab woods and other acrylic resin mod type styles, you guys know what I mean with the designing and the depth and the marbling and what have you. They're just beautiful. So that's my Alita D box with my Limitless on it, and in there is Sugar Baby. Love you, Jackie. I Vape Australia out there in the chat. And on my cotton candy, I'll put some apple backer on him, which is also our sponsor of the day, NSVAPE. And I just want to, extra shout out, loves. We love you guys. Danny's out there in the chat, one part of the NSVAPE crew. Hopefully Van will get a chance to come join us again like he did last week when he gets home from work. He's possibly in that good old Auckland traffic right now. I'm not sure what time he finishes. So we'll do the giveaway in a wee bit. Well, let's go over the year. Shall we go over the year from the generalized what's gone down? Albeit, hey, anyone out in chat, throw things out there that you'd like us to mention on the feed as well. If we forget something, bring it up, sure. Or should we go over events that we've been to that I've got a few photos that I can throw up with at the same time, Megs? I mean, we can do both, I guess.
Sure.
Recapping's a whole year's actually like...
Try and work our way through.
Recapping a whole year's actually like quite, whoa, on a timeline when you break it down to something that happened each month, or many somethings that happened in a month, just trying to keep an eye on chat over here too. So many cool cats coming to hang today. This is great. Apologies for any background noise. It is daytime over here. There is household and life going on around me. And my new beautiful darling microphone that my setting had been altered on, that I got for my birthday last week, is quite sensitive. So you'll probably be hearing quite a few background noises, albeit that I can only hear Megan. Somebody lost audio? Shit. Hopefully everything is sweet.
I don't think anyone else has mentioned it, so...
No, sweet, all good. There was just a mad influx of chat going on, just trying to catch up. Peeps who don't have work tomorrow in the US, so you're able to hang, awesome, that's great, because I'm aware how late it is in some parts over there. In Canada, I'm not sure if we've got anyone from the UK today. We've had a few of the Brits lately, actually in general Europe, all across the board. Actually, extra big love shout out to Miss Jax Miller, who was on the Girls Night Out show with Megs and myself on Tommy's channel on Friday night for you guys in the US, but it was Saturday here. Jax actually has won a couple of prizes today, or at least a prize that I was there and witness to. So she's been a big winner and has been a big supporter of us as wahine on the old YouTube and the vape life. Jax is awesome. Love you, girl. It was really awesome to put a real face to you and meet you properly. It was actually, that was a really cool show in general. That was a nice wee little highlight to sort of add to the YouTube timeline, wasn't it? A girls' night out, albeit on Tommy's channel. But still.
I mean, and also our presence was rather brief. Like, it was quite brief. Like in the beginning, I think we sort of like hung out for the first half hour, and then the last half hour. Because we had the collab Ohm Kiwis show that we had to do, and that one was going to be the last Ohm show for 2016 as well. But yeah, it was good to have that little hangout thing. Maybe we could have hung out a little bit longer. It might have been, it would have been interesting.
Oh, we'll totally do that. We will do it again. Okay, so all right, let's just go down the line, because I know lots of things have happened everywhere for everybody, vape life across the globe. But let's for us, the Ohm Kiwis, and homeland community, I guess you'd say, our local. January itself, earlier this year, January 2016. Let's just flip right back to the beginning. There was a few events in January alone. We started the year off with a bang, don't you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, Wellington had its first vape day,
I'm just
which
bringing
was
up
awesome.
my folder. Yeah, and we also had a vape meet here in Nelson as well.
That's right. Yeah.
So I mean, there's two, albeit local, smaller community, little meets of varying different sizes. And to put it in context for those of you over in the US, with your huge conventions, your meetups, the expos, that go multiple days, you guys have got the population as consumers and as vendors to have bigger, massive events. New Zealand as a whole, our population could fit in one of you guys' smaller cities. We've got to be real about the comparison. I've had a few people say to me, you guys have just got like tiny little house parties as your vape events. Well, in the context of comparison, yeah, sure, they are a little house party, but damn, we have a good time, yo.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like if I were to do the whole comparison thing, because it's what I am used to. So you got the population of Sydney, Australia, is the population of New Zealand. and that's how I kind of look at it. It's like, whoa, it's like a city in another country has the same population as our country. So yeah, that's how I'm able to sort of fathom it. And so the thought of like the US would be on a much grander scale again. So it's we might have little events that only last for like a day. But man, we pretty much go hard. We try to.
For some of those smaller cities, sorry, I'm just dripping out my cotton candy, my able here. For some of those smaller cities, we have a really good vapor turnout for the population of vapors in those smaller areas. And yeah, we have a great time, but sometimes, we've got to be real. You're hard pushed to do an 8-hour event in a smaller space like that. And then is it an event or is it just a gathering? It's a casual meet, So there's lots of variants, of course, of these gatherings across the year, like the Nelson meet that we had here in January. I can chuck a few photos out. I have got many across the years, so it's a matter of me just picking out a few to chuck up a wee slideshow in a sec. I'm just trying to sort those out at this minute with this OBS drama today. That is one thing that it sort of got by the waylay. So the Nelson meet that we had, I'm just trying to remember right this second, 17th of January. So it was just before the Wellington one was on the 23rd, and I was present obviously at both of them. I ran the Nelson one and was in the background giving advice for some of the technical stuff for the Wellington one, being the first vape event there. It was an event per se with vendors and what have you, but it was smaller. I've got a feeling that next year's one coming up will be more eventy, but I'm not sure if I won't ever be going to that one. So it takes a lot of money to travel around the country and be a part of these. A lot of people aren't necessarily aware that me being able to be a part of a lot of the country's events all comes out of my own pocket. Nobody's funding me, nobody sponsors me to go and rep myself or the Ohm Kiwis. But it's not about repping myself or the Ohm Kiwis as well. That's just part and parcel with our presence in some places. It's about going and hanging with your vape fam and getting that one-on-one time with your mates and hanging out with your community, isn't it? I love our wee events. They aren't big expos or conventions by comparison to the States. And yeah, cool, we are having a vape house party, but we become real tight mates. And yeah, a lot of us are that's the highlight for me right there for 2016. Amongst the drama, amongst the bullshit, amongst the lows, the highs, the roller coaster that is life, that in this context is specifically Vape Life's journey for 2016. My involvement, my highlight for the year right there is the friendships I've made, the community that has strengthened through the shit times, and albeit there's been many tangents and divisions and people have forked off on the road and journeys have split and life is life. But that is it right there. Highlight for me is the friendships made and the community strength that has shown throughout the year, through the diversity that is life's struggles, really. And that is Vape Life legislation struggle, let's be in context there as well. What about for you, Megs? Do you have a highlight? Do you even know what your highlight is?
Yeah, I was just going to agree with you. When it came to me going to my very first ever vape meet, it was a bit nerve-wracking and frightening because I had no idea what to expect. But the more events that I went to, it was more about meeting up with people that you'd met before, as well as meeting new people. And it's just forging those friendships and also gaining new friendships. So, there's a number of people within our New Zealand community who that I talk to quite regularly, the both of us, and yeah, they've become really, really good friends. And then the support that is had within our New Zealand community has been incredible. Like every other country and they're within their vape communities, there's drama and stuff. We also have our own drama. That's the thing when you have a community that is so diverse, is that people will clash, personalities clash, and it's going to happen. But despite all of that, the camaraderie and the support is insane. It blows my mind. And I was like, oh my God. It's like, you see the posts go up on Facebook and I was like, oh, I had my vape stuff in my car and someone broke in and took everything. And it's there's always a number of people that are willing to step up and go, hey, well, I can give you this if you need it and all this. It's like, and it's really awesome. So I guess that the highlight of it is just being a community and building those friendships and just meeting new people. Always been a big part of it. Once you've gone to a few of those events, once you get a couple under your belt, then you pretty much know what to expect. And it's just all about meeting people after that.
Hanging out with your mates.
Yeah.
Well, that's really what it is. I've said it so many times before. Sorry, I'm just having an issue with this Able and trying to get my battery running. I've said it before, we were all smokers on the general, of course. There are a handful like yourself amongst the community, and unless you've got a lot of shared interests with many people across the board, which often isn't the case. It's a diverse community. We're all sorts of people that wouldn't necessarily have crossed each other's lives. That's what I love about Vape Life right there. We were just all average Joes walking down the street and we wanted to make ourselves healthier and better our lives, and we all got into vaping and, hey, look, bro, I really gel with you. But if we hadn't have got into vaping or decided that we wanted to stop smoking, we wouldn't have never met. We're at opposite ends of the country. How would we have crossed paths? So that is another aspect, right there, with those friendships even being made to be forged and strengthened, helping each other, supporting each other, saving lives, saving your life, making that healthier choice. Yes, and then of course along the way, what did I change the thing to? Researching, informing, educating, and advocating. I want to throw some love out there in the chat box to Mr. Fresho3. He's been a big part of my journey on YouTube. and a big supporter right from the get-go of Megan and myself swapping from Vapers TV to YouTube when we first met him, and like that was all around the same time, not exactly like on point, but big support right from the beginning, and was one of the first YouTubers faces that I met. And Freshy, Dustin, darling, you're amazing. You're an amazing being. There's so much love that goes out from me to you, from me to all of you guys in the US that have helped support our journey to see. And when I say our journey, I'm meaning like we were on Vapers TV, so like only those that hung out on that website knew who we were in that corner of Vapeland. We swapped to YouTube, and we're on another network. We're just some chicks at the bottom of the world, you know, like sure, meeting new people, but we were part of a network with other shows every day of the week. And the support you guys have given us to make the switch over to my own channel, like I was hesitant on it for ages just because I didn't know if our show had what it took to carry itself. Here we are, episode 36. Bless. Love you all, eh? We're still going, and we plan on coming back next year. And this year's ride has been, for us in the New Zealand community, it's been a ride just as much as you guys have had the FDA ride, and that still continues overseas as well. And yeah, I am picking on the US a lot, but I am aware that we have many viewers that go everywhere else as well across the globe. So, you know, I'm just generalizing, not trying to offend anybody. Our YouTube journey is so entwined with you guys in the US and your other YouTubers, and that real bridge across the countries. And that was why I started the show at the beginning of this year. See, that's one of the biggest things for this year as well, is I decided I was going to do a show and help our New Zealand community in some way. I never expected that we would be a global name on any level, and I'm not saying we're a household name, but any level of a global name. I just started, thought, hey, let's help our New Zealand community, see what we can, and put a female face out there in that connectability of viewers with people on screen, not specifically YouTube at that point. And then here we are, like, you know, like that was the original goal, bridge the gap between New Zealand and the rest of the world for vaping, connect with our issues, what's going on with advocacy, what's going on with products, what products you guys are getting that we're not getting, how far behind is New Zealand to you guys, you know, like really bridging that and going, hey Megs, I'm going to do a show, you want to come be my co-host because I'm not sure I can do it on my own. Like that 2016 right there, you know, like, hey Megs, I'm going to do this. You want to join me?
That's exactly how it went too. And it was like, I remember thinking, like, the very first time you asked me, I was like, okay,
No, that's not
sure. And and I remember the very first time that we went on our show, man, I was so nervous. Because I had no idea how we'd be received. And I know that there's so, like, our accent, for instance.
Oh, that's been the biggest point of the whole year, hasn't it?
It's different. And and it's just trying to make sure that every time I speak, it's like, okay, I have to make sure that they can understand what I am saying. If I say something, and they're like, huh? and it's been entertaining. I mean, even whilst doing the shows and things with you, and it took me a while for me to like say it. It's like, do you know how you've been saying New Zealand? New Zealand? And just little things like that. And because I'm consciously aware of like trying, they're going to hear it and they're going to go, she said, what now? And it's like, oh, you've got this idea. It has an amazing build deck. egg, not egg. It's been very entertaining. I feel like as if though we seem to amuse more people with how we speak, and hearing it from other people how they seem to interpret our accent is just so funny. It's cracked me up the whole time we've been doing this show. And you can always spot it when the comments start coming up, like in the chat, and it's like, okay, they seem to think that you said something else, Marks.
I must say that of all of the appearances across several of the channels that I've made this year, and I'm sure that's not over yet. I'm not sure he's out there in the chat box, but just while I'm on the note, big extra shout out to TJ, Golf T Vapes. His was actually the first show I even made a guest appearance talking about advocacy and 1 billion lives and what's going on in New Zealand. So big love out there to you, TJ. And then Fresh was the next one, and yeah, and the 1 billion lives advocacy Mox was born to the world.
Yeah, you had a lot of explosion.
I did have a little bit of a YouTube explosion, but you know, we'll come to 1 billion lives. That went down in May. I've totally just lost my train of thought by tangenting myself there on TJ. Oh, bless. What were we saying? I actually just lost it. I don't know what I was about to say.
First appearance? Something along those lines?
Yeah, first appearance on TJ. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where I was going with that. No, it went out the window. Shit. Yeah, next topic. That actually, it'll come back. If I was meant to say that, it will come back. Yeah, okay. So January we had a couple of vape events. I'm trying to keep an eye on chat and actually pay attention to our discussion as well as sift through photos. I was having a little issue there with my able, so I've just actually taken the battery out of that, and I'll look at that later. So I might not vape on my cotton candy now. Don't want to have an incident while we're live, and I'm not giving that full attention, so I'll put that down. Being a mech, safety first, always give your mech full attention, especially when it's something about the battery not firing. So obviously I wasn't contacting somewhere. Put the mech down, deal with it later.
Yep.
Oh, there's so many shows, the content. Oh, I'm trying to think, what the hell was I going to say? oh, yes, I know what it was. Yeah, it's back.
Oh, now you remember.
Yes, now I remember. My appearances on other shows. I think a highlight for a lot of people to do with my accent was my faux pas on Mr. Mark Fagan's show. Saying my own name. Now, I'm not sure if I still say it the same anymore, because I'm so conscious of it since that came out. I am aware that
you emphasize now. You emphasize it.
It's because I'm aware that I speak quite fast, especially when I'm getting excited, especially when my brain's going and I want to go bang, bang, bang with some info and probably mangle up my Spanglish and have half-assed dyslexic sentences. Verbal dyslexia is a thing, people. You know, like, I just get too sped up and I say my name too fast, or I say New Zealand really fast, and MOXLEY's Psychonetic will forever be on video on Fagan's show sounding like I said something else. Oh, now look at that chat box.
And ever since then it's been, hi there, I'm MOXLEY Psychonetic. The emphasis is there.
Can't help it now. Look at that chat box out there. So there's another man who deserves a lot of love and has a lot of love from everyone across the globe in our community, is Mr. Battery Mooch. John, we love you, honey. Everybody in the community loves you. 2016 would not have evolved with devices and safety across the globe if it had not been for your hard work, my dear. And continuing, you know, that's by no means ended. Moochie, baby, We love you. We love you. Oh, I've got my mic in my hand. Big loves to the moochie.
And I've also seen like people out there sort of asking us like where young fellas, where's Mr. Yeti? My number one fan. He's so cute.
Have you got Facebook open? Do you need to message Yeti and go, honey, our last show's on?
Yeah. It's like, if you don't tune in now, you're going to miss us until next year.
Yeah, well, actually, Fresh, can you message Yeti? Me and Megs don't necessarily have Facebook open when we're running the stream because we give all of the computer powers to the streaming. Yeah, if someone could message Yeti and just let him know that we're live, because he does often not receive the notifications and he misses it, not by fault of his own. He could be busy also, but yeah, if someone could message him, that'd be great. So just catching up on chat a little bit there. What's up there out there to Tim, to Chris. Chris has been a great supporter. He's been at so many of our streams. Same with Andrew. Big loves to you. And of course, our extra special wrench. I did mention you earlier, Greg, but Mr. Greg Paschek, wrench across the globe. Oh, honey, you're my wrench idol. I like to wrench along beside you on those other chans. It's great. For those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, it's just the moderators and the YouTube chat boxes who have the ability to post links and get rid of the trolls. It's just the people who keep an eye on so many on the live streams. It's fun. It's the old, what is it? Hashtag wrench life, baby.
No, yeah, it's always awesome whenever I tune into a show and Greg's in there dropping those links and stuff, and it's awesome. It's also sort of given me like a heads up on some of the stuff that I don't know about and say, oh, what's that? Click.
Chris, what is that supposed to sound like if I said that real funny? I'm going to say it, just because I'm not sure what it's meant to sound like in any filthy way. I don't know why that is a relevant sentence, but I'll say it for you, honey. So Chris has asked me in my accent. And of course, all the Kiwis watching are like, what fucking accent, man, these guys. Chris has asked me to say a sentence, and I'm not sure why, but okay, here goes, honey. For you, Mr. Chris Harris, Gulf Shores, Alabama. Is that what you wanted? I don't know. Did I say it right? Was the emphasis there wrong? I don't know what that's meant to sound like. So there you go, honey. Hey, Lilith out there in the chat box. How you doing, girl? Lilith is one of the crew that hangs out in the background in the Vaping Lounge, and I've hung with Lilith a few times. It's always great to meet other female vapors across all of this mad YouTube crew. Like, there's many of supporters who hang out in the private chat room, video chat rooms and stuff. There's quite a few of us across the board. Obviously, Vaping Lounge is one of the more famous, thanks to good old Facebook. And yeah, I've hung out with Lilith there a couple of times, and many, if not all, of the other females in the YouTube realm that I've met actually have all hung there at some point. Yeah, so, oh, and a shout out to Dustin Vapor as well. I realised I hadn't mentioned you there, honey. Anyway, back to the game. Do we want to show photos? I really do have a lot, and I know I can ramble and we'll tangent, so a photo is just going to be distracting. I mean, they are sort of our New Zealand memories. If anybody in the New Zealand crew wants to see photos, if they haven't already, because across our closed New Zealand groups, a lot of these photos of whether they be casual or an actual event, those albums are often posted in all of those groups anyway. But if anyone wants to see photos that they haven't seen of a particular event, or a photo they're aware that I may possess, feel free to message me. That's no biggie at all. So okay, well, we had the Nelson Casual Top of the South meet at the Playhouse Cafe, not far away from me, about 20 minutes drive away from me, in beautiful Top of the South here in New Zealand. It was called the Nelson Vape meet, but it was really like everyone across the Top of the South. If you were available to come and hang with us for the day and chill, vape, we had pizza, we had drinks, I had DJs. It was just casuals. The owner of the cafe was also a vapor and a friend of mine, so I had just, a chill day organised. It was great. One of our vendors sent some juice down from up north. Another local vendor here came out, built coils for peeps. He shared around showing off some of his wooden mods. And then, the Welly Vape Day, we had vendors. We didn't have any competitions or anything. It was casuals on that aspect. We had one of our more world famous New Zealand advocates, Dr. Miriwa Glover, came down and did a wee little speech, little pep talk to the vape community at the Wellington vape meet in January at that one. We had maybe like 8 vendors there or something, didn't we, Megs? Maybe 10? I can't
Yes,
remember.
there were that many. We had HB Vapor, Mushroom Cloud, E-Juice Bar, Lost City E-Liquids. Who else was there? Vaporium.
That was a wee precedent for the beginning of the year. Sorry, I can say that clearly. Yes, we had first ever vape event last year, 2015, in the beginning of October, 510 in Auckland. That was the first ever event in New Zealand of any description. So that was a setting an event sort of bar right at the beginning for our New Zealand community. That was great. So then there was just the casual meetup here in Nelson. That's fine. That was just cash meetup, Sunday gathering. However, the Wellington one, I believe, set a nice little precedent for the not quite a full event, a little bit more than something cash. It was a nice middle ground event for the year for people to look to and have a wee basis of, which I feel others did, obviously. We had, I'm just looking at my wee folder which has dates on it. We had a little casual vape meet in Timaru in February. So I'm going to start moving along the line now. In February, which was very similar to Nelson one, we were just at a caf bar, chill and vape, and there was a whole lot of us hanging out for a few hours, and then we went and had a few drinks back at someone's house, like casuals. And then there was a casual Christchurch vape meet. So these names I'm mentioning for you guys overseas are cities and towns that we've got in certain places. Timaru's in the South Island, Christchurch that I just mentioned, casual meet that we had in March is also in the South Island. There's a lot of our vendors are based in the North Island, a lot of the B&Ms in the country are in the North Island, so our South Island community try to do the best that they can in actually upholding those hanging out face-to-face friendships, because our vendor, albeit growing, getting stronger every month, our vendor basis in the South is less than in the North. So then what did we have next? The casual meet was in March. Tauranga Vape Meet in April was the next event-ish type one. And this is what I mean by the Wellington event in January sort of set the precedent, because I believe that Tauranga went, okay, that's what they did. And we still want to keep it cash, but we want to add a little more, but maybe not quite be as much as the bigger event in Auckland. And they found another little middle ground above that bar. So it's sort of not so much one-upping. It's not about competitiveness. It's about providing for the community and making sure everybody has a great day. Everybody wants to enjoy themselves, vendor and consumer alike. So I really enjoyed the Tauranga one. Megan and myself did a road trip. Tauranga was a good trip for us, I think. You have a chat about Tauranga, honey. I've been rambling.
The Tauranga one was good because I remember leading up to it, we were trying to organise how to get there, and I think you were thinking of flying up to Auckland, hiring a rental car, and then driving to Tauranga, and then sleeping in the car. And then I was like, I know you have a sister here in Wellington. So I was like, well, why can't you just come up to Wellington and do the road trip with me and Mr. Ed and Susie, and stay in the hotel with us, because we had Mr. Ed and Susie had booked a family motel room, so it had 2 bedrooms. So one had like a queen, and the other one had 3 single beds in it. And the idea was that my father was supposed to come up with us as well, but he couldn't make it. So Mox and I had the room with the 3 beds to ourselves. So it meant that we can chuck all of our stuff on that 3rd bed. And the location of that motel was just so close to the venue itself. Like, you could walk. We were able to walk there. What was really awesome about that particular meet was, especially like for the motel, is that there were a number of us vapers who were attending that event who were staying at that motel. so that was hilarious. So we got to sort of hang out after the event with a few of them, especially like a couple of the peeps that come up from Dunedin from Vaporium. So we got to hang out with them for a little bit. I mean, I was dead on my feet by the time the vape meet was over. So I was trying so hard to stay awake. No, it's not happening. Like, no. So we went to head back to our room, and yeah, there were a couple of others who were having like a few drinks and had sort of like, "Hey, come in," and it's like, oh. So we hung out with them for a little bit. But the meet in general was really good. I mean, I think it was like on par with what Auckland provided, maybe not quite on the same scale, but yeah, it was pretty much on par with that. But yeah, so they had the vendors and the competitions and things, which were awesome. And yeah, I was glad that I made it to that one. So it was a really good vape meet. So as well as having that road trip up with Mox, we also had the road trip back to Wellington together. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I think on our way back home, because I'd bought the avocado and the tsunami from that vape meet, like I got them quite cheap, and I was using the tsunami, and I don't use it so much anymore because that damn top cap gets stuck on the RDA itself. And we'd stopped kind of halfway down the North Island in a place called Waiuru, and we thought, oh yeah, we'll stop here, get something to eat, and I needed to redrop, and I was trying to take the top cap off. And just as I finally got it off, it slipped out of my fingers, so it looked like I threw it. And all I could see was this top cap just flying in the air in slow motion. And I'm like, no, I just bought you yesterday. So when it hit the ground, it was like, bounce, 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 bounce. And I was like, oh, go over, pick up the top cap. And I think the worst that I did to it was that I scuffed up the drip tip. And I was like, oh, see, I knew I should have put on a stupid, one of the drip tips that I wasn't a fan of. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. That was probably my moment of the Tauranga meet. So, yeah, I don't really use the tsunami very much these days because of that, because it gets stuck.
So, there were 2 professional photographers at the Tauranga Vape Meet, and there's quite a few pictures of Megan and myself, which was great that they were there and that we were able to get copies of these photos. And earlier in the year, after the show after that particular meet, we got permission off the photographers to share these online and on our shows and what have you. So, full disclosure, I do have permission. These are professional photos that are not watermarked. And big love to Hippie NZ and Rod out there. I've totally just forgotten Hippie's real name, but those are the 2 photographers, and they did a great job. And there's actually these few photos. I'm just deciding I'm going to put up just a wee slideshow for a few minutes of these pictures. But there's one photo that one of the professional photographers didn't take, that Susie, that travelled up with Megan and myself, took on her phone on the one competition that I will never forget of the whole year. So one of the points of difference of the Tauranga meet was that, in comparison to Wellington, was that we had cloud comps and there were prizes and what have you. So in that comparison to Auckland, there was this similarity. Megan and myself entered a comp right this second. I'm not even sure which one it was. Was it the MEC? Was it the Open? It was the Open. I couldn't even recall. And
only because I remember like the Met comp, and I said no, I wasn't going to enter, and they were like, "Oh, come on!" I was like, "No, I just wanted to come up and just enjoy the atmosphere." So when the Open comp started, which was the last competition of the evening, I had a few people go, "Go on, Megan, go!" And it's like, "Oh, fine, I'll enter it. It's all just for shits and giggles anyway."
So we both enter, and they pair us together, don't they? We're up. We were even the first round. We were the first round, and they threw us together. Okay, now for all those of you who watch us on screen, if you haven't gathered, yeah, my clouds may not be small, but damn, I got nothing on my girl right here. And they put us together. Now this woman right here can hit nearly a 4-meter cloud without bloody trying. And I'm like, wow, hell, we already know who's won this round. I'm out. And Susie.
It was funny though, because as soon as we were announced, we both looked at each other and we laughed.
I had no chance. I knew straight up, no chance. That was the one. Oh, sorry, no, take it back. It wasn't the one entry I had that day. I take that back. I was about to say that, but it's the one time I've actually ever been pitched against Megs in a competition, and I was like, this is the one thing I've always dreaded, because we know how this is going down. So I have this photo I'm going to share with you guys on the screen. That's why if you've seen my mouse moving around the screen, that's what I'm up to. I'm working on photos I'm about to share with you. Yeah, my clouds aren't small. I get distance, but Megan has that density. That's all I really need to say. You guys need to look at this photo. I don't know where it's going to come up on the screen. It might take over the entire thing and I'm going to resize it. But yeah, this photo...
If it takes over the whole screen, then they'll be able to see it in all its glory.
Oh, and there it is. There we go. In all of its glory, Meg's kicking my ass with that density. Now, obviously, there is cloud of both of ours off screen. And like I say, my clouds aren't necessarily small. And I'm not blowing my own horn. And I have length. I can get length. But she's got that density. Damn. I mean... I don't think it's on the screen yet, and yes, that is Megan's watermark. This is one of Susie took the photo on her camera, but gave this photo to Megan, so that's the way Megan's watermark is in it. I'm just waiting for it to appear on YouTube because it would have been up on our screen for a little bit already before I pull it down. It's a great photo. It's a perfect in-action shot, but damn. Talk about photographic evidence of one moment of shame.
I was glad that someone captured it. Because I wasn't sure if anyone would actually get it, because it's like, we're both in it, we can't take a photo.
Yeah.
And yeah, so to have Susie like actually be able to step back and get that shot, it was great. And when she told me that she took a photo and then sent it to me, I was like, oh, that is awesome.
Oh, my YouTube just did something weird. Hang on, pulling that image off the screen. Hang on, YouTube's up to something.
What's YouTube up to?
We cut momentarily. Oh, okay, I've just pulled it down off our OBS screen. It's not there anymore, but it's just appeared on YouTube now. So what is that? We're a good minute behind. Yeah, so in all of its glory, that is a photo that is just one of them classic shots of the year, I tell you. And there are several photos of both of us doing things around on the day. As you can see, there's like a line of vendor stalls behind us in that image, and we had build workshops, and there's photos of me building even. I might even show you guys one of them, because y'all don't see me do that very often. And What else did we have going on? We had various competitions throughout the day. Oh yes, talk about the blind build comp,
Blind build comp. What was unfortunate about that particular comp, it was that I was the first one to enter, only because the vendor who was running the competition, Lawrence Coe from the Mushroom Cloud, called me over. And what was funny is that he gave me like a rundown of the rules, and then just as I was in it, I went, hang on a minute, how am I supposed to do a dual build if I can't see what I'm doing? And I was like, can it just be a single? So my length of time took longer because because I was asking questions as I was being, I guess, timed.
Yeah, it was timed. That was the point. The blind build comp. It was who could do the fastest time. Way to go! Putting the build on to wicking, blindfold off, ready to vape. That was that it, or did you have to drip as well while blindfolded? It was like way to go, blindfolded time.
You had to install the build in, and then I ended up asking, so okay, I need to get the hot spots out. Can I take the blindfold off? So I took the blind, and so they said that it was fine to take the blindfold off at that point. But then to wick, you had to put the blindfold back on and wick the coil, as well as and after doing that, sort of all of that had to be put in blindfolded, as well as juicing up the coil. So that was interesting. Can you imagine like holding on to the thing and then hoping that you're dripping in the right place to like get it, and then once you had it on there, put the top cap on, and then you had to vape it. So it had to be vapable. But most of it was done blindfolded, except for the taking out the hot spots and then the vaping it.
Can you recall, I see a question out there in chat, honey, can you recall, I'm just trying to think what mine was, your build and your mod that you were using in the open when that photo of us was taken? I'm not sure.
I know what I had.
I'm going to see if I can try and zoom in on my hand.
I had the...
apologies for background noise, guys.
I had my Drippin' Dolls PJ box mod. It's a PWM series box. And the Addy that I had on there, I think it was the black and gold twisted messes. And I had dual Claptons. And yeah, my resistance was about 0.3, 0.32.
Okay, I can... hang on, sorry, I'm having issues with my headphones and my glasses. I can sort of see what's in my hand. It wasn't my tube mech. I'm just looking through the other photos to see where is me standing at the build station, what mods I had with me that day. April was so long ago. And I know build and mod, battery power, all of these things, yes, relevant when you're in a competition for sure. And a shot like that, of course you guys want to know what we were actually up against each other with. Can I just throw out there, because this is my defense line that I have used all year, it's my story, I'm sticking to it. Megan was not a smoker. Those are two different sets of lungs going against each other. I smoked for 24 years. Yeah, there you go. Ran, excuse me. Yeah. Well, the tiniest violin, darling. Oh, I know. But I'm going to say it every time.
What's funny though, because it was like as they did the countdown, I think it was like a 3 count. No, was it a 3 count followed by a 5 count, or was it 5 and 5?
I think that one was a 5 and 5. Oh, Lance. Sorry, I just remembered the other photographer's name. Hippie's name is Lance. Lance and Rod.
Yeah, because I think with that final 5 count, I had to wait because I know I can't do a 5-second draw. So as soon as I heard 5, 4, and then when it got to 3, I did the inhale. So it was like from about 3, 2, 1, and then exhale. So 3 seconds is like my limit.
Okay, I've zoomed in on some other photos from the day. I am going to go with my 13 Heavens 9 Hells on my GMM parallel box. Mech box is what I went up against Megan with, which means off the top of my head, knowing how I build on my parallel, that build would have been around the 0.12 mark. So that's what I would have been going out with. My smoker parallel mech against Megan's non-smoker Series BMW. Big love out in the chat box to Miss Kathy. Hashtag Phenom's bro. Sorry, Phenom's sister and Kathy's bro. I always mix them up when I go to see them. How's that for Spanglish? Hey, where's Phenom at? I haven't seen him for a few days. So yeah, it was a great day, wasn't it? Like, that was a really good event.
It was a really good event. I mean, granted, there was like a couple of little awkward moments in there for you, but all in all, it was.
We're not talking about that.
No, we're not going to.
Because
even though there was like
vape drama happens everywhere, all the time, across the globe. At every event, there's always going to be a something in the background. Yeah, every event, eh? It's life. We're humans. It's called interaction, I think.
yeah.
I'm just looking for actually some of these. Oh, there's one. Oh, actually, I think I found your blind build shot.
So the one with it completed, or?
Yes, would you guys like to see, of course you would like to see the blind build. Now, can you remember the time that you got and who won that comp that year? I'm aware you've been the first contestant, like, and you had all those
really
bits.
long.
Yeah.
Because I kept asking questions like throughout it. So my time was about 20-something minutes.
Oh,
and
I didn't realise it was that long, honey.
Yeah, but then
but for a blind build,
he went after me, and he went longer, which was kind of surprising.
For a completely blind build, that's it right there. I've just put it on screen. Just move that off your face. Sitting between us. Blindfolded. Sure, basic bitch build, but can you do it blindfolded? And how fast can you do it? And wick it, and drip it, and get ready to go.
Normally I could do it a heck of a lot faster. I mean, Maya was impressive. I mean, hers was about 6 minutes, so she won. Yeah, it was amazing when I heard like her time. I was like, wow. But yeah, I think by then the rules had been established. So all she had to do was just do her thing.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing was because the blind build had to be done on the Mutation X V4, and I don't have that particular mod, and the post holes are really tiny, really tiny. Oh well, especially in comparison to like the Twisted Messes, which by that point, post holes that big was what I was used to. So yeah, trying to feed those wires into there was a bit of a struggle, but yeah, it was like, well, I took to it like a champ and just went done. Whereas me, it was like wine, put it in it, and like, hang on a minute, question, do the thing, question. It took too long. I mean, I probably could have taken another whack at it, but it's like, I just kind of figured that was it. I'm not going to do it again.
Oh, that build's just come up on the screen on YouTube right now.
Just a minute, I've got to shut my door.
Just going to... There we go, add directory. So, Tauranga really was a really good event, and we're talking about it, we've dwelled on it. So I'm just doing I'm trying to do a quick, get these Tauranga photos, just to do a quick slideshow